at the Oldsmobile Headquarters at 920 Townsend Street, Lansing, Michigan 48910 on May 20th, 1996. The interview was conducted by Chris Poole by phone from Los Angeles. Jim Walkinshaw and Bob Jarboe were present in the room at the time of the interview. So you are on, we're on, and I guess it worked. How are you doing today?
Just fine, John. How are you?
Have you met Chris Poole, John? Probably.
Yeah.
Sometime in your wanderings, I would think.
It's been a while, but you'll get a chance to see me again when you come out for our Motor Press Guild meeting in September.
Very good.
That's a long way. Well, anyway, as you know, Jim and Helen Early and I have been working on this history book for Oldsmobile, and Gus, I guess, has briefed you on looking for some sterling words from you for the last chapter. So I suppose maybe the best way to kick it off, maybe help you get warmed into it a little bit, is to ask you to give me your sense of where Oldsmobile was when you came in as general manager a little over 4 years ago now, and where it is today, and where you see it going in the future.
Yeah, basically where it was in '92 is that it was had a very wide kind of unfocused product line. They had added the van, they'd added the sport utility. They kind of still had the large station wagon. And each line of cars had a little bit different set of brand character, appealing to largely traditional domestic markets, primarily overlapping that of Buick. And as a result of that, why there was a real kind of a lack of direction as to what should our real market niche be going forward. If we do more of the same, we're going to be really in there just kind of doing more of the same, and all of our second choice data showed that the corporation really wasn't getting much for its investment, because everybody that bought an Oldsmobile, their second choice was Buick, and everybody that bought a Buick, their second choice was Oldsmobile. So that we really had two product lines that were pretty good product lines, but basically serving the same market segment. And this was certainly a correct strategy 10 years previous, because the competition in the marketplace wasn't that much. And also internal competition was one of the things that we used, particularly if you go back to the antitrust years. But now the corporation had fallen on hard times, losses, didn't have the money to literally keep product lines of brand engineered products that competed against each other in the marketplace in place. Plus the fact is there'd been so much consolidation of retailers that there was so much dueling that this competitive brand strategy internally didn't work very good anymore, because Oldsmobile had almost 900 duels with Buick, and vice versa. So the first thing that it became obvious is that we're going to have to develop a line of cars that really appealed to import buyers. and that we would have to also trim that line of cars to be compatible with our ability to invest capital, and also so that it would be a line of cars that would really fit a retailer's portfolio, many of which were already dual, so that he could sell the whole product line. And so we sat down and developed a plan that became the Centennial Plan. And this was done after 4 basic focus groups with key Olds retailers, in which we went down to the tech center, showed them all the products, all the marketing data, all the ownership data, and all the trends of where things were going. So then it was decided that we should change the product direction. And we then went out, bought a fleet of import cars. We all started driving them, all started picking out the target cars of where we really wanted to be. And we said that our showroom should kind of be start with a Honda Accord, go to a Toyota Camry, up to a Nissan Maxima, up to an Acura TL, which was the legend at that time, and end up with the LS 400. And we should all try to get this done by our 97th or our 100th birthday in 97. And so it was a pretty ambitious plan. And obviously the cadence was not in the greatest shape to do that, as far as when your investment dollars were coming, or which vehicle you do first, which ones you do second. But the Aurora was already in the pipeline and coming, so we said, let's let that be our kind of lead car, and let that tell the rest of the world about how we're going to be going forward. So we used that car to also pick up our design cues, both interior and exterior, for the rest of this Centennial product plan. And history will show that the Centennial product plan will not get done by our 100th birthday, but we'll have a lot of it done. We will have the Aurora. We will have the Bravada. We'll have the new van. We'll have the Cutlass and the Cutlass Supreme replacement, the Intrigue. And we will be getting very close to being ready for the new Alero. But that's kind of, and then the last car out, the Antares, will actually be in 98 as a 99 model. So we'll have missed the whole thing by a year and some months, which is not too bad considering. And so that, and then that would give us to where the Alero is our Honda Accord, the Cutlass is our Camry, the Intrigue is our Maxima, the Antares is our Acura TL, and of course the Aurora is our LS 400. And we said, however, those cars themselves probably won't accomplish what Oldsmobile is going to have to get done, to get it all done. That we need a shopping ownership experience that can also be a competitive advantage. And so from that, why we started out to benchmark the other nameplates that were really doing an outstanding job. And those were primarily Saturn, Lexus, and Infiniti were the three that appeared to be doing the best job of satisfying customers. So we adapted as well a strategy to get to a straightforward buying experience and also an information-rich showroom and selling environment. And that process is longer, more cultural, but we all did go to take Saturn training. Saturn does a lot of our training for us. We are making progress towards those goals. And 97 will be the year that we really kind of unwrap and begin to advertise those differences. And we've got that all lumped under a thing we call Act Two, which is what you find when you arrive at the dealership, all of the different experiences. And so that will roll out in 97 as one of our main cornerstones to go with the product. And it's that non-product and that product plan, just look at that as two legs of a stool. And then that holds up our mission to become the most caring car company. And that in a nutshell is what we're heading for and what we want to use the moment of glory of the 100th anniversary to tell the world about. And the way we plan on doing that is that we will have a new advertising campaign whose theme is Think Differently About Oldsmobile. And all of that is designed to take people who have never owned Oldsmobiles, probably don't know very much about them, and talk a little bit about our heritage, where we came from, but then remind them to think differently and talk about the rebirth for the next 100 years of this new product line and this really great shopping buying experience that we'll be offering.
For you personally, how has being general manager of Oldsmobile been different for you compared to other jobs you've held? Comment a little bit on.
Well, it's been much more challenging because, first of all, we had to. I've never directed this much change or experienced this much change in a short period of time as we have at Oldsmobile. And then in addition to that change is that we've had to have that result in the beginning of building a new culture and also of reducing structural cost considerably. And so we changed the way we do business with our retailers, changed a lot of our information management systems internally. And it's been I think it's been safe to say that the change has probably cost us some sales in the short term that we could ill afford. On the other hand is that you do have to try to create some of the things for the long term that will take it literally probably from the least valuable franchise in the industry to the most valuable franchise in the industry. And a lot of the things that had been done previously were of a more short-term nature. And while it may have somewhat slowed the decline in sales and image, it didn't arrest or turn it around. So my term was thrust into fix it or kill it, if you will. Not intentionally, but let me put it, fix it, but if you don't, the results are less than you'd planned on, because we had reached such a low point in sales that our critical mass could come undone. In the heyday at Oldsmobile, we sold around 875,000 vehicles with 3,178 retailers. This year we'll sell about 255,000 cars at retail with 2,946 retailers. So you see the ratio of sales decline to the number of retailers is out of whack. So there's a lot of loyalty out there, but that loyalty is also frustrated and not very profitable. And so with franchise laws, and the one thing, the way they are, you can't just reduce it to a clean sheet of paper and start over either. So, I could make the argument that doing a Lexus or doing an Infiniti or an Acura or a Saturn, by comparison to what Oldsmobile had to accomplish, was like falling off a log. Starting with a clean sheet of paper has its challenges, but it also has some great advantages. When you take an organization that basically diversified its portfolio, dueled with other makes and one thing another to exist, to get that focus back and earn your way back into the hearts and minds and pocketbooks of your distribution system is truly challenging. And that's been, and then do that while you're also totally restructuring your organization internally and revamping the total product line. It's without a doubt the most challenging assignment that I've ever been a part of.
How have you found, what's it been like for you to work with the people in Lansing, and what kind of differences have you noticed there in the, throughout the book? We have mentioned the Oldsmobile family. Any reaction?
The thing again that has made this thing double tough in Lansing is that as a separate car company, Oldsmobile was so synchronous and so much a family that as you start taking it apart, the manufacturing from the sales and then the engineering from the manufacturing, you start consolidations to the point where Lansing in real effect simply becomes an assembly plant versus a total car company, and where you had so many people that had literally into the second and third generations of workers and one thing and others that had been scattered through these various operations, and then you see it pull apart. It gets a double dose of emotion, because you literally had husbands and wives and uncles and nephews and all of these things literally that used to be part of the same brand organization that have been pulled apart, and some transferred, some, but the whole entity is taken apart. So that was traumatic for the Lansing-based workforce, and particularly for Oldsmobile, the brand. If we had enjoyed less success in those old days, it probably would have been a lot easier. But as you go through uncharted waters and the frustrations of changing cultures and doing things, you have those memories of how great it used to be that question sometimes the wisdom of the future plan. So it takes a lot of communication and a lot of team building to get the new plan in place, have everybody literally believe in it, in their hearts and minds.
Do they believe in it now?
I would say that our work is certainly far from over, and that we're in a very, very, very critical time right as we speak. When you get into these type of times, when your sales are down, and one thing I was just looking at a NCAA promotion. This was just a questionnaire that was sent out to our retailers that was supposed to do an evaluation on a recent promotion we had. And then they have a place for additional comments. Retailer says, from rock on down, no organization or no direction.
That's a pat on the back.
And the point is that when you get to low sales and you're about to leave the owners you have and go to a new batch, and everybody is saying, I'm finding it hard to make a living with Oldsmobile today because of those low number of retail sales, to say that everybody is on board or is happy about this would be absolutely naive. The new products, as they come on, are going to start increasing sales. People will begin to feel better. The focus will come back. But that's kind of like, if you're interviewing me, would be kind of like me going over to Sparrow Hospital and talking to somebody who probably just had a kidney removed and say, how do you feel about this decision this moment? You know, they know that in a few days they'll be up and walking around and feel better at it. But at that moment of truth, you always are asking yourself, holy smoke, what have we done? But the proof still lies in the future. The future of the history of Oldsmobile is to be written here in the next 2 to 3 years as to what type of recovery we make to this strategy that was agreed to back in 1992.
You are optimistic about the future?
Yeah, I am personally. I think that Oldsmobile will be the best GM franchise to have in another 3-4 years. And I also feel that it will rank with any in the industry. Obviously, from my chair, I make some assumptions of executions that have to happen, but that's what I get paid to do.
Yeah. What has been the biggest accomplishment in your mind to date since you came in?
Well,
Or is it the top 2 or 3?
I think getting a focused product line, uh, uh, adapted and funded throughout the GM nail management that allowed us to go forward. And then I guess secondarily, the ability to kind of take the organization and paint the picture of the new culture to make the changes, the organizational changes that we've had to do, and still keep everybody as focused as we've been. We really have put them through a bunch. And I think one of the strategies we used was the dealer board of governance, where we literally kind of threw out our old dealer council system and really have 8 retailers that help us run the business. Because for all that we've gone through and are going through, if we didn't have some retailers right on board with us, why, this would be a tough thing. Don't know if how much support we would have from the field. So they've been credible in helping that happen. And then, of course, one of the things that has to happen yet is that we have to call on our partners at Leo Burnett to really find the heart and soul of Oldsmobile as we start into 1997, to think differently about these new products and get them launched. So, I guess the accomplishment that that I see mostly is the amount of change in everything we do. Whether or not those will be successful, it's we haven't had much signs of that yet. Those measurements are still out. John Rock could go down in history as the guy that absolutely was full of good ideas that never worked. Or he could go down as somebody that made a significant contribution, but I don't think we'll know that till quite a while after this book hits.
The Aurora, however,
Yeah, the Aurora has been a great indicator of our success, as to what our success can be.
You mentioned a second ago getting the ad agency to zero in more specifically on what the heart and soul of Oldsmobile is. What is that in your mind, the heart and soul of Oldsmobile?
Well, the heart and soul of Oldsmobile, like the heart and soul of any organization, is the interaction of its people and its products in a caring process. And that's what you've got to get people to think differently about. Whatever your impression of our retailers, of our products were, or anything else, we need to have you understand what we strive to be and the things we're doing to make that happen. And so our goal is to get everybody to stop for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and think differently about Oldsmobile, and let us give you the thought starters as to why you should. And probably the example I use is that when you see when you're watching the Today Show and you see what's his name puts the 100-year-old people on the, yeah, Willard Scott puts the 100-year-old person on the television. Generally speaking, if the show is on, you will stop and take a look. Everybody has a curiosity about what a 100-year-old person looks like, and a little bit about them. They're willing to take a listen. So we need to take the occasion of our 100th birthday to get everybody to have a look and a listen. And then, however, we have to tell them about this new Oldsmobile. so that we don't get trapped in, this is not your father's Oldsmobile, or all the old cliches that have gone before. And then we have to deliver an automobile and an ownership experience that basically says that, hey, this outfit really does care. And if you take a look in the Consumers Reports magazine, and they very seldom. Okay. You will find that they poll their subscribers every year to ask them, how was your experience? The last 3 years, Oldsmobile went from 16th to 10th to 4th. And there's another research company in San Diego called Strategic Vision that measures things gone right instead of things gone wrong. The positive, it's kind of like JD Power in reverse.
Yeah.
And they just awarded the Aurora as the happiest ownership experience. And you'll be hearing us talk about that. So we've got indicators out there that kind of show that there are some things going in the right direction, that the new product, when we do one, does have quality and caring policies wrapped around it. And but you know, those are merely indicators. That has not raised the total brand Oldsmobile much at this point. Those are just kind of, as I say, the seedlings are starting to come up through the ground. Lot of work to do yet.
To be optimistic about the future, yeah.
Oh yeah, like I say, I write it a little bit like an investor proxy on a new stock. Is that here's the facts, here's everything we've done, here's what we're trying to do, here's how we're changing, and you know, here are the risks. On the other hand, is that my personal belief is that we've hit all of the levers for tomorrow's marketplace in both product strategies and non-product strategies and organizational efficiency, so that we can make Oldsmobile very profitable going forward. And that's important too. We got to pay my banker back now to get further investment. Another thing I feel good about is that the line of products that come after these, I'm equally as excited about. So I think that I don't see a 3 or 4 year good period for Oldsmobile. I see something more like a 10-year good period for Oldsmobile. And hopefully my successor will turn that into 15. Yeah, or maybe another 100, hopefully.
Let's hope so, because we've titled this last chapter, you know, towards the second 100 years.
Yep.
So we're being very optimistic.
Yeah, and I really do. I mean, you know, it's it's a shame, Chris, I couldn't have had you sit through the employee roundtable meetings that I'm holding. I'm holding a series of 3 of them. Did one a week ago Friday, one Friday, and then end up this Friday, where it basically recaps this last chapter of literally where they've been, where they're going, and that, hey, I know right now, this is kind of like you're in the middle of the Red Sea and the waves are parted, but you're scared they're going to come together. And you know, but we're literally just months now from really beginning to see the fruits of these labors pay off. And I just, if you came down from Mars and decided you wanted to go in the car business, or you wanted to be a retailer of cars, and you said, I want one franchise that has a prestige luxury car with a V8 engine and expressive styling. Then I want an entry lux car that basically has all those same characteristics, but with a snappy new premium V6 engine, brand new, and a nice sporty family sedan, expressively styled, and then a mid-size family sedan with a lot of utility, and then a sporty lower mid-size with both coupe and sedan, very expressively styled, with sport utility and vans thrown in. Oldsmobile has all of that, and very few of our competitors have a product line literally that varied, but yet in a sense that compact, because most all of those cars are almost mid-size in size. There's not a lot of difference from the top of our car line to the bottom of our car line in size, overall length. But in sportiness and height and powertrain, a lot of variety. Again, all with very nimble handling, and all with a 5-passenger seating and a very ergonomic interior cockpit type feel. That gives Olds an identity. When you glance at it, well, you'll know immediately that it's an Olds. And if somebody says, well, hey, how about a sedan? We're saying no Luxo boats at Oldsmobile anymore. We truly are a very contemporary car company.
Tell me what you mean by those levers. Like, what are the big ones there?
Yeah, well, obviously the big one is the product that we've just described, and the tremendous amount of research we've done on that product for positioning it, and then also what it is that will turn customers on. What are the enablers today to get customers to really enjoy that shopping ownership experience? And we've got those literally laid out and nailed. The building and facility itself, we've got over 40 brand new Olds facilities that'll be completed by the end of this year, and a lot more on the drawing board. And like I say, I think the advertising message itself. So I don't think there's any piece of the business that we haven't done a deep dive on and literally changed our outlook and attitude about it.
Your manufacturing guys feel comfortable with what's going on?
Yeah, and if you, the other thing is we've probably fully embraced the new brand management system and the new vehicle line executives product development process. And so all of our stakeholders at NAO and at the plants are very excited about the new cars, and particularly when we show them the research, the on all of the clinic work we've done. Our acceptance to buy the product has been over 75%, and the highest one being the Alero at 78%, which I might add is the highest that any GM car has ever clinicked.
And that's for the Alero?
Right. And so we feel pretty good about that, because we kind of know that the Aurora unbranded was in the 60% range, and branded was in the 40% range. So that tells you but then if we see the performance of the car, it's actually been better than that. So now, if we take these high statistics, and then as we're further along and kind of know how to address these segments of the market, why we think that what we've learned from Aurora will help us execute even a lot better. So again, we think that we're going to have that we can get this volume back to 500,000-600,000 units a year in a good year, and then in a bad year, probably around 450,000. And while that's not the million of the heydays, why the market is so much more competitive today that the million sellers are far and few between. In fact, I think you'll probably only see a couple of million sellers going forward from a nameplate point of view. Probably Ford and Chevrolet will be the only ones still that will be able to accomplish that. And even then, you have to throw trucks in to do it. So we think we'll have a very strong product line.
John, you might comment on the business of Oldsmobile moving to Detroit.
Yeah,
Ask you about that.
Well, the thing about it is that has where we are in our final push and getting ready to pick off the Centennial and all these new products. That's a kind of an unexpected little mental diversion, but my attitude is that Lansing will always be the spiritual home of Oldsmobile, regardless of where we go to work. I would like to be able to get our learning center and our history center and the museum kind of all housed together to be the footprint of Oldsmobile in Lansing forever. And then that would always bring us back here to hold meetings, do training, things of this nature. Don't know what that future holds exactly, but it does chronicle one thing, and that is the competitiveness of the marketplace in the world today. That you literally are having to do those type of co-locations and efficiencies to be able to be competitive on a worldwide basis. So I look at it with a true mixed emotion. As a minority stockholder, I concur 100% with what's being done. As kind of looking at our heritage and cultural values that have developed around the car and are intertwined in the community, that appears to be a big loss. The challenge to us is over the next couple of years to figure out a way to keep Lansing not only in our history but in our future on some sort of a basis, keep this as our spiritual home while we're enjoying the efficiencies. And you know, there are some opportunities to maybe it's time for Lansing to look at a or a commuter system from Lansing to Detroit, and also how virtual can you go with some of the jobs with today's information systems and computers and one thing and another, why everybody does not have to go to the office every day. So there's a lot of things that that the future holds, but the successful car company will be the one that can take those kind of challenges in stride and adapt to them. And I do feel that because of all of the rest of the change that we've been putting Oldsmobile stakeholders through, that we'll grasp that one and deal with it efficiently and positively.
How would you like to see this book end?
The
Hey, hang on just a moment. I gotta flip my tape over here.
Okay. Is there any concept now that the centennial event will not take place here?
no.
No, really?
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah,
Hey, asking.
Ask John, I asked him how he would like to see the book end, Chris.
Okay, yeah.
As contrasted to how you and I might like to see it ended.
And I was also just going to ask, if there were something special, John, that you wanted to say to the people who are going to receive this book, most of whom were current and former Oldsmobile employees. What do you want to leave them with?
in the recent series of meetings I've had with our retailers and their managers and one thing another way, I think that there's a tremendous amount of loyalty and kind of latent energy awaiting to be released on behalf of Oldsmobile and its brands and its products. In this business, product, and product, it's a lot like real estate is location, location, location. And so the product has to come first before you can get all of the rest of these strategies playing on and becoming synergistic. And so this opportunity to seize the moment is literally coming right in our 100th year. And so we have that opportunity, but we need to take that opportunity to really understand our heritage, develop that pride, remind others of it, and then take that and adapt it into the new, and then wrap all of that around these new products, and hold nothing back, give it 100%. And if we do that, I am absolutely certain that all of the things are in place to make Oldsmobile the most valuable franchise in the car industry. From a financial point of view, even more valuable than it was in its heyday.
You foresee that there'll always be building Oldsmobiles in Lansing
The,
for a good long while.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Jim, what have I forgotten to ask?
I don't know. I think you've got a lot of material there.
All right. John, is there anything else that you think I should be asking you or that you want to say?
No, we,
Certainly had a hell of a challenge the last 4 years, and as a reporter, as a critic of sorts, I see the payoffs already. So I'm in your corner rooting for you there. It'll be nice to see you back.
yeah, and you know, the takeaway of the book, ought to be just that, is that if you're far off, you should say, holy smoke, boy, I hope these folks make it and pull it off. If you're a little closer in, you can say, yep, that's accurate. The plan is good. We're there. And if you're just a interested consumer, you should say, it's time I give them a try. So, I guess my last line is that, I would invite you to think differently about Oldsmobile.
I can't think of anything else at the moment.
One last thing, Jim.
Jim or Bob, do you have anything that I ought to ask or?
Did Gus
Go
chat
ahead.
with you, know all about the subject, and John, and chat with him?
He had,
Cover what he wanted. We had some concerns about whether it covered the subject of where we were going very well. So.
those are,
Well, you've certainly given us a lot to include here and to the
There-
big points.
There's one other interesting phenomenon, which I remember Gus mentioning to me.
Okay.
Oldsmobile had been down for the count 3 previous times.
Jim, get a little closer to the phone, will you? I just want to make sure I pick this up.
Oldsmobile had been so-called down for the count three previous times. And I think folks maybe consider this to be a fourth.
yeah, I think that's fair.
So for what it's worth, we got through 3 of them. Facing the other one with good confidence. And we have good confidence that the 4th one is under control.
Yeah.
So here we come, ready or not.
All right.
Well, think you're got enough, Chris?
History is likely to repeat itself with this number 4.
Yep.
More than likely to repeat itself. The future is being.
That's right.
I think so, Jim.
All right.
Probably what I need to do is just begin transcribing it and see how it fits. Work with it from there, and I'll just get back to you.
All right.
Okay.
Very good. Appreciate the help, Chris.
So much for taking time.
And, enjoy.
Okay.
Okay, Chris, if you need anything more, feel free to call.
Sure will. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.